Good afternoon. I'm Savannah.
Hi.
I'm the social worker here at the Family Support Agency. I'm going to be working with you. And your name is?
Hannah.
And it's all right to call you Hannah?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just want to go over a few of our agency guidelines before we get started, and then we can talk about what brings you here today, because that's the most important part. Our agency, at Family Support Agency, we offer a wide variety of services based on family needs. So we offer different types of counseling for individuals, families, and couples, and then we also have support groups for children, for parents of children with disabilities, for parents that are recently divorced, those sorts of things. And we also have activities that we do with families throughout the year, just a wide variety of things, really whatever the needs are of our clients. We have several different policies. I'm going to go over a few of those, and the major policy that I want you to know is everything we say in here is confidential. It's just between you and I, unless you want to share that with someone else, but I'm not going to share it with anyone. That is, of course, unless it involves someone being hurt or you being hurt. Cases of child abuse, neglect, those sorts of things, suicide, those are the types of things. But other than that, everything we say in here will be confidential.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
All right, do you have any questions about what we do here, about policies, various things like that?
Not so far.
Okay. Well, if at any point during the session, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and let me know, and we'll go over those.
Okay.
Okay, so do you care to tell me a little bit about yourself? What brings you in here today?
Sure. So about 6 months ago, me and my husband have started to go through the divorce process.
Okay.
And it's just been really difficult on me. He was the one who wanted the divorce. And so now I'm really struggling with a couple of things. First, having a job, because when we were together, he worked and I stayed at home. And so now, like, getting back into the work field has been something that I have found pretty difficult so far. And I feel like a lot of the times, since I don't have that companionship, I'm staying at home, I'm lonely, and I don't really know what to do with it because I'm just like a divorced mom. And then I also feel that my children are kind of just regretting, us being their parents and us. They're just going through some really hard times right now, and so trying to tell them how much we love them and not to blame themselves has kind of been difficult for my husband and I both.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing, I just want to kind of recap to clarify. I'm hearing that you have recently been divorced, and while you're married, you didn't work. So that's been kind of an adjustment, especially in our economy. I understand that that's a problem, and also just a lot of feelings of being overwhelmed by this new life transition, and not really knowing how that looks for you as an individual, and also for your children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those things are all pretty accurate.
Okay, so of those 3 major points, what would you say is probably the most overwhelming or the most pertinent?
I think right now it is getting the job, getting back on my feet so that I don't have to be dependent on other people. Because for so long I was dependent on my husband, and I was dependent on the relationship that I had with my children, and now just getting back into a workplace where I can support my own self, I think is the most overwhelming right now.
Okay, so this is going to be a major transition for you.
Sure.
Have you ever, in the past, what is kind of your occupational history?
Not a whole lot. When I was in college, I worked at a local restaurant there and did some service, or some waitressing, and some serving, but not a whole lot other than that. Me and my husband got married right after college, and then I took, the role as the mother and the wife instead of working on my own.
Okay. And do you mind if I ask what your degree in college, what you studied in college?
Sociology.
Sociology?
Yeah.
Okay. And at the time, did you really know what you wanted to kind of do with that, or?
I really just had an interest in working with groups of people, and just seeing how those different people interact. I know a lot of people who I graduated with went to do research, but that was something that I never really wanted. But, I was proud of my degree and that I had one, but I never really put it into practice.
Okay. So you really do enjoy being around people, working with people. I'm sure the service industry was good in that area.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So what kind of job are you looking for now? You probably want to work with people, I'm assuming?
People would be great. I would not doing typing desk work where I'm sitting at a desk 24/7. I would hate that,
Okay.
where there wouldn't be any interaction. I'm okay with computers because, like, where I was a stay-at-home mom, we did a lot of, like, activities around the computer, so I know kind of, I'm okay in that realm. Or, like, even a factory job, I don't think I would enjoy any factory work, which in here seems to be where a lot of people go and do, that's where they get their money from, is working in factories, which I don't think that I would be successful in.
Okay. And what kind of schedule are you looking at? I know you have the kids are in school and those sorts of things, so is there an ideal type of
definitely while they are in school. So, like, they're in school from 8 to 3, so definitely working along those hours would be great. If I was able to, like, pick them up after school. They go to their dad's on the weekends, so even if I could find work over the weekend, that would be nice as well. So, to get out of the house and do something with that.
Okay. That's great. That's a lot of it. So I hear you wanting to work with people, and computers is something you would consider yourself pretty strong in, and also just kind of a day job that would be flexible and allow you to spend as much time with your children as possible. So is that something that's really important to you, spending as much time with them as possible?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, being in their lives and letting them know that I still care about them, even though their father and I are recently divorced.
Okay. That's definitely something we can do. Do you have a resume currently, or is that something we could work on?
That would be, help with the resume would be great.
Okay.
Like, I had one when I first got out of college, but never really used it, and that was a pretty long time ago, so that hasn't been updated recently. So just, like, adding skills and stuff to that would be a big help.
Well, what if between now and our next time together next week, you could make a list maybe of some things, bring in your old resume, and then next week we can just kind of work on hashing that out.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that would be really good. And then I can get you some resources about job fairs and different things like that.
Okay.
And we can go over those together and see kind of what might be more fitted to your preferences.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. I also kind of want to touch on you had mentioned feeling very lost and overwhelmed and just kind of alone now that you're kind of alone with the kids most of the time.
Yeah.
So what is your biggest concern in that area, do you think?
It's just been such an adjustment because for so long I was, like, with our other couple friends and, with friends from church, and a little bit I feel like now that I'm divorced, the people from church kind of look down upon me because that's not really a part of our religion, is getting divorced. And so they kind of look down on me, and they kind of have taken my husband's side in the whole thing. And so, it's been a struggle to, like, there's just not a whole lot of self-esteem there that I just kind of feel lonely, and kind of just secluded from a lot of people that I used to be friends with.
Okay. So are you still active in the same church?
I've actually started to move churches. We moved to the next county over, and so I started going to a church there where people kind of know us, but not, like our friends used to know us, and, like, the problems that me and my husband have. So, like, I have contacts in the county we're in now, and I'm starting to go to church with some people there, but it has been a really big adjustment.
In the past, how important has your faith, or has your church activity been to your life?
We were really involved in church.
Okay.
We were both in the choir, and we both did Wednesday night activities, and so we were just really heavily involved in that church there and serving that church there. And now, since this whole thing has taken place, I don't feel as much support from that, and I've kind of felt like, like I said, that they, were secluding me because this whole divorce thing happened, and where my husband stayed in that church, I felt like we would be better off moving churches, so I'm trying to get involved in this new church, but it has not been the easiest of sorts, so.
So would you say you're feeling a little hurt by that church?
Yeah,
that's difficult.
for sure.
Is that something you're wanting to, with the new church that you're getting involved with, maybe try to build those relationships there? I know it's difficult to do that another time, but.
I think right now it's not my biggest concern,
Okay.
making contacts with the people in church. You know, like I said, like that church kind of hurt me when me and my husband got divorced. So building on contacts is not, you know, a priority right now.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like keeping to myself and keeping within my family. But I also understand the importance of like really good friendships and like how much I relied on those while me and my husband were still together. And now that I don't have that, it's been a lonely time. So.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think that you would be interested maybe in trying to meet some other parents who are kind of going through the same thing that you're going through as well, and try to make those sorts of connections and friendships?
Mm-hmm. I think that would be helpful for sure, just to like see how other people have dealt with it and what they are responding to.
Well, we do here at the Family Support Agency, we do have a support group that meets once a week for single parents, and we do provide childcare during that time.
Okay.
I forgot to ask you earlier, how old are your children?
My oldest son is 9 and my little girl is 7.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So yes, we would definitely be able to provide you with some fun activities for them to do while you were doing that, if that's something you'd be interested in as well.
Yeah.
And I can give you a brochure about that as we leave.
Okay. That would be great.
So, are there any other ways that you have considered maybe trying to meet new people since you're in a new county?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you've done so far?
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of like proactiveness in that. I've kind of just like stayed to myself, and like for a long time that was okay. For the first couple of months it was okay. I just wanted to be by myself. And I just wanted to talk to my family. But, like, now that it's been 6 months, which is still fairly recent, but I'm also realizing that I need to, I need to have those support systems. So I think that support group would be a great fit for me. So I'll be able to meet other people, and people who are going through the same thing that I'm going through, for sure.
I think that would be very helpful. Can you maybe tell me a little bit about the other people that are in your life, your support? You said you're very close to your family. Can you elaborate maybe a little more on that?
Yeah, I have a sister, and she's from the county that I'm living in now, and she has a husband and 2 kids, and so we've really been close with them, and I've been over there a lot. She's really helped me the most through this. My parents are somewhat disapproving of the divorce as well. Like I said, it's not a part of our religion, so it's been really, really difficult. The divorce was something that needed to happen for sure, but my parents didn't see it that way, so they're trying to be as supportive as they can. They're helping watch the kids when I need to look for jobs, and like when I need, like right now they're watching the kids for me. But it hasn't been a whole lot of support from them, and they really liked my ex-husband, and so it's been a struggle for all of us. But like I said, my sister and her husband and kids, they've been really, really helpful in this. They actually they go to this church that I'm currently going to as well. So she started introducing me to her friends and the people that she knows.
So you've kind of grown in your relationship with your sister, but maybe you're feeling a little isolated from your parents?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's difficult. Is that something that has gotten better, or has it just kind of stayed the same since the divorce?
It has in some ways. When I first told them about it, they really didn't want to talk to me about it. They kind of were figuring it out for themselves, I think. But like I said, they are helping out with the kids. They understand that I needed to be here today to just like talk to someone about it, and so they are helping with the kids. But we haven't talked a lot about it. That might be something that I want to do in the future, but it's kind of scary at the moment.
Yeah, I understand that, and we can talk about that in the future, maybe, and maybe even try to have them come in here one day, and we can all talk, or you and I can maybe talk about some things that you want to discuss with them, and then you could do that on your own, whichever way you feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably causing you a lot of stress, that relationship, so that's something we'll try to work on maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But anything else that you're feeling like important to you?
I think so far I have really gained a lot from our meeting. I think right now I'm in a good spot. So I think other issues maybe to talk about. Not right now because a little touchy, but just like how like effective I'm being in my children's life, I think would be the next thing, because I think right now they're feeling like it's their fault, and I feel like they are really confused as to why we can both still love them, but don't love each other.
Yeah.
So it's been difficult, for sure.
That's definitely something I think, if that's something you're willing to talk about, I think that would be a great thing to talk about one week. And I think we kind of have made a little bit of a plan today. Next week you're going to bring in your resume and some of your experiences and those sorts of things. We'll work on that. And maybe the week after that, next week we can talk about what we want to do the next week. And then eventually talk about the kids and to talk with the kids or talk with your parents or whoever.
Okay.
But I'm really glad to meet you,
Yes,
and I
you
think
too.
this went really well today.
Okay, all right.
I'll get you those brochures on the way out.
All right,
and
thank you
see
so
you next
much.
week.
All right.